Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in before you turn in. I'm your host, Jonathan Lee Iverson, and this is Ringmaster Story Time. Now remember, if you like this content or any other that we produce, remember to subscribe or like our page. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a wonderful story for you. In fact, we have two. Starting out, I have some trivia for you. That's right. Can you tell me who completed the world's first ship designed by computer in 18 hours and 26 minutes? Who became the U.S. Navy's first female program manager of ships? Any guesses? Okay, let me give you this one more. She was honored by the U.S. Navy as their first hidden figure. No? Well, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you the first story of the night. The Girl with a Mind for Math. The story of Ray Montague. Written by Julia Finley Mosca. Illustrated by Daniel Rieley. If there's something you want, but it seems out of reach, here's a story for you. A great truth it will teach. When you focus your mind, you'll succeed through and through, like one bold engineer by the name of Montague. In a state we call Arkansas, one winter day, a baby was welcomed, a girl they called Raye. She was bright as a star, super smart from the start. She was headstrong, this child, and not faint of heart. Yes, this girl had potential. Her granddad was proud. He told her, work hard, you'll stand out from the crowd. Then something she'd cherish when Ray was just 7. He took her to see her first ship. It was heaven. A real submarine? Her eyes opened wide. Who made it? She asked as they followed the guide. Engineers, said the man, giving Ray's head a pat. But my dear, you don't need to know all about that. At the time, the man's insult went over her head. No, you can't, were the words he had meant, but not said. Engineering, thought Ray, and her life's dream began, except most people laughed when she told them her plan. Stay strong, said her mom. Use your brains. You'll be fine. There will always be people who pay you no mind, just because you're a girl and because you are black. Don't let them or the state of your school hold you back. You see, schools in those days were what's called segregated. The black and white students were kept separated. That's wrong, you exclaimed. It was dismal, no fooling, and worst of all, white kids received better schooling. But Ray studied hard. She had grit, taught herself. She was gifted in math and read books by the shelf. When the time came for college, she knew what to choose. She'd learned to build boats, but she got some bad news. Engineering's not taught to black students, they said. Her heart hit the floor. I'll take business instead. She'd learn what she could, and she'd learn the rest later. Their rules were unjust, but that school wouldn't break her. Ray finished with honors. Oh boy, what a smarty. She said her farewells. There was no time to party. I'm off to a place filled with history's greats, the capital city of all 50 states. Now finding a job, it turned out that took time. She looked and she looked. Ray was not one to whine. Then it must have been fate. At least that's what it seems. She was hired to type where they built submarines. The Navy, that's right. Oh, but hold your cheers. Ship designing was only for trained engineers. So she watched as they worked, and she learned every task, even studied computers by night in a class. Then her big break arrived. The whole staff got the flu. Ray did all her work and the engineers too. Her boss was in shock. How? He exploded. From memory, said Ray, and with that, got promoted. Life should have been swell, yet that wasn't the case. Her boss treated her poorly because of her race. Many people like him tried to make her feel small. Ray just held her head high and she outworked them all. What next? From the White House, there came a command. The president ordered a ship.
Make it grand, and quickly.
He added, well, that didn't fly. All those plans would take engineers months to supply. Here's the thing about that. When designing a boat, there are thousands of measurements one needs to note. All those numbers take math, and that takes some time. But Raye had been working on something sublime. She took a deep breath. I can solve this, she said. I've come up with a system to do it instead. It'll draw the plans faster, she told them. Don't fret. I'll design the first ship by computer. No sweat. How long do you think that might take? What's your guess? Would it take her a month? Maybe weeks for success? Well, it took calculations and tons of caffeine. But Raye finished in hours, just over 18. Her program, it worked. All the blueprints were done. The ship was constructed. The engineers, stunned. You did it, they cheered, and her boss had to say that her quick mind for math had in fact saved the day. At the end? No, not quite. When Raye's ship was unveiled, only white men could go, and Raye's invite? Not mailed. Say what? You heard Raye. No invite? Abhorrible. In fact, some might say it was downright deplorable. Yet Raye kept her cool, gave her best every day, and in time all her skills were applauded. Hooray! People learned of her work. Who's this Raye? They demand. When they met her, they stared. They expected a man. Yes, that happened a lot. Many could not believe that a woman of color did all she'd achieved. Some even thought Raye was a maid. Sad but true. When they ordered a drink, she'd say, "Bring me one too." All her humor and wit served her well through the years as she battled the hard times with laughs and not tears. And that boss in the Navy who'd been so unkind made Raye the first woman to lead ship design. More honors would follow. Her fame picked up steam, and finally at last she accomplished her dream. That title she worked for, an engineer, score! Now the world knows her feats. She is hidden no more. So the lesson to all is don't ever give in. Take a chance, rock the boat. If it sinks, you can swim. When a storm comes your way, hold your course and don't stress. Never quit. And like Raye, propel straight to success. The end. Isn't she incredible? Wow, what a story. You know what? She left a wonderful note for the readers. I'd like to read it for you right now. It says, "Dear reader, if you have a dream like I did, study hard and stay focused. Always remember that just because someone says you can't, that doesn't have to stop you. You might have to go in a different direction, and it might take you a little longer, but you can achieve your dreams." Signed, Ray Montague. And now that brings us to our last story of the evening. Let's just say this one is out of this world. Child of the Universe by Ray Jayawardhana, illustrated by Raul Colón. My father says I am made of stars. He turns off the lights so it is dark. We look at the moon from the edge of my bed. The universe conspired to make you, he said. Just like the sun gives shine to the moon, you light up the world beyond this room. Like the majesty of the Milky Way's grace, your curly hair swirls over your face. There are galaxies in your smile so wide, the cosmos is reflected in the depths of your eyes. Like faraway planets only telescopes can see, with hills and valleys, glaciers and seas. You are grand and marvelous, strong and mysterious. The history of the world is in your fingertips. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, are made up of stars that lived long ago. Your atoms spin like Saturn's rings. You are a part of everything. Of constellations and Arctic ice, of waves that move at the speed of light. Of sunbursts brighter than fireworks, you are a child of the universe. Now get under the covers, my father says. It's time for you to go to bed. He tucks me in, and through the window I see the great full moon smiling back at me. I close my eyes, and tonight I'll dream of stardust and planets and all that's between. The end. Now, if that doesn't make you feel special, read it again. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in before you turn in. This has been Ringmaster Story Time, and I am your host, Jonathan Lee Iverson. And remember, keep the circus alive inside you.
Baby Mine, a Lullaby Collection, has been such a fully realized dream for me. As a result of this, we will be able to lull children into dreams of their own and make sure that they know that they're not alone. To listen to the voices make these songs come to life and infuse them with the energy and the love and the comfort is very exciting. All right. When the album is sold, the money that we raise from that album will go into the Baby Mine project, which will then go towards helping children across Africa stay safe and well looked after and cared for.
The circus is a vast international community, and there's only one place to connect for jobs, events, the latest news, and so much more. CircusTalk.com. Join today.